Ladies and gentlemen, and hockey fans of all ages, welcome back to another exciting edition of Randy Talks Hockey. My name is Randy Dillon. On Wednesday, we went through our quarter rank of the Western Conference. Today, we're going through the Eastern Conference team. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on how I think these teams are doing. But first thing first, though, I want to wish out a get well to Calgary Flame defenseman TJ Brody. I am not a Flame fan, ladies and gentlemen, but when you hear something like happened to him on Thursday practice in Calgary where he collapsed, stroke-like symptoms, it's very scary. Put life in perspective, saying we love this game, but when you see something like that, never good. According to the Flames, he is doing well. We wish him the best and a speedy recovery, and hopefully maybe we'll see him on the ice sooner than later. Who knows? All right, but let's get into our quarter rank for the Eastern Conference. We're going to start off in the Metro Division. At the top, the Washington Capitals are once again leading the Metro. The big surprise for Washington, John Carlson putting up points. I think he's 5th or 6th in the league right now. Incredible. Surprise of rookie goalie Ilya Samsonov emergence. He's been really pushing Braden Holtby other than the last night game against Montreal, but he's been pretty solid between the net. My big concern for the Capitals are they're letting in too many goals at scoring. It kind of takes me back to those days under Bruce Boudreau where they won the President's Trophy high scoring, but they can't defend. They won the Stanley Cup because Barry Trotz got them to defend. Todd Reirden got to do that. If not, could it be another upset in the playoffs? That's still a wild way to go, but looking at that trend. The second team in the Metro is the New York Islanders. We got to give some love to the Islanders. Stop doubting them, ladies and gentlemen. They are won, I think, 13 of the last 14 games. They have points in 14. It's incredible. Yes, they cannot score, but they can defend. And I think that's how you win a championship. Thomas Greiss and Semyon Varlamov have been great. It seems like they haven't skipped a beat since the departure of Robert Leonard. You can't replace the person, but Varlamov have gotten the job done at this point. Now, how can the Islanders keep up the scoring? I think they're comfortable playing this way. As long as they're healthy, they got all the bodies. Barry Trotz got them playing the right way. Yeah, they could add something close to the deadline when it comes close the trade deadline, possibly for playoffs, but still a long time away. For the Islanders, you get a double thumbs up because I think you're tied with the Oilers for the biggest surprise in the NHL yet again. The third team in the Metro, the Carolina Hurricanes. After last year's playoff, the Hurricanes haven't looked back, but Dougie Hamilton and Andrei Shevchenko is leading the team. Took a while for Sebastian Aho to get him, but Shevchenko and Hamilton leading the way. Hamilton, I think, as of yesterday, led the team with 21 points. That's just incredible for a defenseman. We know last season was a little bit hard for him, but man, oh man, found his strong. Peter Mrazek getting the job done in net. The acquisition of forward Eric Halla has worked out great for the Hurricanes. James Reimer, I'm still questionable, but hey, getting the team wins, and that's all important at this point. The fourth team in the Metro, and they currently hold the first wild card spot, ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers made a lot of big moves. Alain Vigneault, the head coach, the awful signing of Kevin Hayes. They got Matt Niskanen. It has worked out so far. Their defense has been better. Last year, they allowed, at this point, 71 goals against. This year, 53 goals against, which ranked them 5th in the NHL for the least goals against. Carter Hart, he did struggle at one point this season, but Brian Elliott was able to help out, and Hart, it looks like he has returned to a good form. I would like to see Giroux and Voracek and Couture to help out, but Travis Konechny is getting the job done with Oscar Lindbergh. And you know those three, Giroux, Voracek, and Couture, will pick it up eventually. Hopefully Nolan Patrick will play. Unfortunate going through these migraine situations. We'll like to see him back on the ice, and hopefully he can show why he was the second overall pick in the 2017 draft. The fifth team in the Metro and the second wild card spot in East, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now the Penguins, I think they're a team at this point battling for a playoff spot, but what they've gone through so far is the injuries, the man game loss. Early in the season, lost Evgeny Malkin, Jared McCann, Nick Bukestad, Al Galchenyuk. Now, Chris Letang, Patrick Hornquist, and Sidney Crosby out. Crosby, they're saying 6 weeks a minimum. I hope not. He's in my fantasy pool, and I'm kind of winning it, so I hope that stays that way. But So this is now going to be up to Evgeny Malcolm to carry this team offense. Last year we saw what happened with the whole Phil Kessel saying it was either him or me, and the Penguins chose him to stay. But I think the big thing that can help the Penguins is the play of the goalie Matt Murray. Matt Murray, one, he's been healthy, and two, his numbers are better than last year. Last year he had numbers, a save percentage of .877, a goals against of 408. Now he has a goal at this point, goals against of .237, save percentage of .913. Just incredible. He's going to be a big part of this team to help to keep the Penguins in a playoff spot. Next up, the New York Rangers. They are out of the playoffs, a little bit lower in the Eastern Conference standing. But I think this is what you can expect from the Rangers. They're in that rebuild part. They got a lot of young, good prospects. Capo had a slow start, but he started to pick it up. Panarin putting up the point. I'm kind of disappointed in Trouba. I thought he would shine, getting that more ice time, more moments in Broadway. Hasn't worked out yet, but maybe all he needs is some time to adjust. But the big thing for the Rangers, Henrik Lundqvist's numbers have dropped. Last year, he had a goals against of .271, and as of now, and I did not include that 9-3 loss to the Lightning, his goals against are .347, so they're not Lundqvist-like. He got to be better if the Rangers want to compete, but I think the Rangers are going to be in that range of, they're close to a playoff spot, but not there yet. The Columbus Blue Jackets, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's expected for them to be in this spot, but I think they're doing better. They're kind of close to a playoff spot. They're one game below 500 after all the pieces they lost in Bobrovsky, Panarin, Duchesne, etc. They're doing all right. They are surprising people. If they can keep around that 500 mark, I think they're still a competitive team, and maybe they can attract players saying, hey, we're still good, and we just need some help. And if you want to come play with us, we'll show you. We'll see what happens with the Blue Jackets as the season progresses. Finally, in the Metro, the New Jersey Devils. I'm not going to bore you with semantics. I have talked about the Devils a lot in previous videos. It has been a ferocious season for them. You've had the acquisition of PK Subban. Hasn't worked out defensively. You have allowed a lot of goals in the NHL. The goaltending of Mackenzie Blackwood, Corey Schneider has been awful, but Blackwood kind of found his way. First overall pick, Jack Hughes, had a slow start, but is picking up now and put up a pretty goal here and there. The big question is going to be Taylor Hall. Ray Sherrill going to have to get the magic to get a good piece, because I don't think Hall is going to be staying in Jersey. Maybe he takes the money. I don't think it's a good move. You're a good enough player. You should go win a cup or take that chance. But it's your decision, Taylor. Make the decision. That's what we got for the Metro. Now, off to the Eastern Conference. Not the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division. I don't know why. They're both in the East, so they're still in the East, or we're still in the Eastern Conference in the Atlantic Division. And first in the Atlantic, the Boston Bruins, a great start to the year. They're looking to poise to make another run to the final and possibly win the cup. Bergeron and Pastrnak, Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak are scoring at will. They're near the top of the league in scoring, right behind McDavid and Draisaitl. The tandem of Tuukka Rask and Halak have been playing great. They want to show everyone that they want that cup that they didn't win last year. And I don't think they're getting enough credit for it. This is a good hockey team. I think we just expect the Bruins to be fighting that good. But the fact that they're first in the division and they might stay that way, you got to give them credit there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the second team in the Atlantic who I think deserves a good thumbs up because they surprised a lot of people, the Montreal Canadiens. Their numbers are scoring-wise the same for goals for and goals against. Big difference though, Shea Weber's been healthy. It's been a collective group of scoring. Carey Price has been Carey Price. I think Claude Julien making a quiet case for himself for a Jack Adams Award if the Canadiens do make the playoffs. Not many people expected the Canadiens to be in second, or a couple of teams failing as bad in the Atlantic. We'll get to them. But good on you, Montreal. Will you keep it up? Only time will tell. And hope the question will be Jonathan Drouin. We saw that Ovechkin hit on him. How long he's going to be out for? That could be a big loss for them. The third team in the Atlantic, the Florida Panthers, Huberdeau, Barkov are scoring. Good for them. They got the depth, the big move though for Dale Talon, the first one, Joe Quenneville, but Sergei Bobrovsky, what's going on here? In 15 starts, in 7 games, you have had a save percentage over 900. 8 games you haven't. Not good enough. Your numbers are ferocious. If the Panthers want to continue staying in this spot or even competing for a playoff spot, Bobrovsky's numbers need to be better. There's no question about it. They got the scoring. Defense has been good. They got the coach. But Bob got to be better. Next team we got are the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Buffalo Sabres are after the Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs, oh my goodness, a disaster. They've been disappointing. The move Kyle Dubas has made for Kadri, getting Kerfoot and Barry. Barry has been horrible, -6 on the year with only 5 points. For last year in Colorado, he had 16 at this point of the season. They can't defend. The rumors of Babcock getting fired. Marner's out now. Kerfoot's out. Trevor Moore's out. The team's really struggling. You can see that the conflict in the organization, and does it start with Shanahan, Dubas? You can tell Dubas and Babcock doesn't get along. So the Leafs got to clean this up. If they don't, I think they're going to miss the playoffs. Babcock can be fired before then, and maybe Dubas will be fired after. Who knows? But this is not good enough, Toronto. And this is your last chance, I think, to show you're competitive, because you've got a lot of defensemen that need contracts for next year. Next is the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres, I look at kind of a roller coaster. They have their good moment, which is start of the year, 8-1-1. After that, they've gone 1-6-1. They're getting scoring from Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart, but the consistency the Sabres need to find if they want any hopes to make the playoff. It's still early. They're not out. They're still in the race for the playoff for a wild card spot, only a few points out. But if they don't find that consistency, they'll be looking outside the playoffs again come later this season. Next team, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, another disappointing team. After last year, the Lightning, they just haven't got it done. I think it has to a lot do with Andrei Vasilevsky. He has played horrible. Now, the Lightning has only played a game since last week, and they put up a 9 spot against the Rangers. You would think that turns it around. Hasn't. Stamkos, Kucherov, Poit, they have been scoring at will, and they need to change that. I don't think John Cooper's job in jeopardy just yet, but let's talk about that in January, or the halfway mark at the season. Biggest surprise, though, for the Lightning, Kevin Shattenkirk had 15 points after last year only having 20-some-odd points. He'll be getting another payday if he can keep this up, or maybe a trade. Who knows, but good for you, Kevin, to turn things around. Finally, the last two teams in the Atlantic, the Ottawa Senators and the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings, Anthony Matthews and Tyler Bertuzzi are scoring, but the biggest struggle has been Jimmy Howard. Last year, numbers were really good, had a save percentage of .922, goals against of .967. This year, save percentage of .877, goals against close to 4, .394. Not getting it done. He needs to. The Red Wings haven't been getting good enough goaltending. They're a young team in that rebuild mode. Can Stevie Yzerman just waiting for the time? He'll probably maybe ship out a player here or there to get this team some assets. But we saw what he did for Tampa, Detroit. Just have some patience with Stevie Y. Finally, the Ottawa Senators, another struggling year. Unfortunately, Brady Tkachuk really hasn't hit a scoring way. Colin White been out with injury. It just hasn't worked out. Andres Nielsen, though, has been playing decent right now. Has a save percentage of .925. He has shown where he can have great moments and bad moments. Can the good moments continue? The Sens are like in a rebuild as well. So we'll see how the rest of the season, but I don't think they're getting out of the basement like the Red Wings anytime soon. They're stuck, but the good thing for those teams, they're stuck with the Kings in the basement. The Kings have some better players, so you should be good about yourself, Ottawa and Detroit. All right, that's all I got for you on the quarter update of the Eastern Conference. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be back with some more updates around the hockey world and what I think is going on. My name is Randy Dillon. As always, remember to watch some hockey and have a good one, everyone.